Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, becoming part 2 of the story I covered yesterday, which is titled, Wife Gets the Boot After Husband Goes Scorched Earth upon finding 15,000 texts between her and her lover. And guys, I appreciate all you guys to let me know there was an update there, because a bunch of you guys either messaged me or emailed me. And remember, guys, this is about the guy who's in his 40s, married 17 years, and found out that his wife's been hooking up with her coworker. It's been going on a while, a year and a half. And he found 15,000 messages between them, and they weren't all just texts. They were also spicy material, and this guy's going scorched earth. And where it ended, obviously, he was done with her and all that, and it was whole drama central with her. Well, as it turns out, he did multiple updates here, and I appreciate you guys letting me know about this, because I had no idea. And what I'm going to do here is that there's actually 4 updates, but the second update was crazy long. So I'm just putting them all together and splitting up into 2 videos. So this first one here, part 2, will cover the majority of his big second update, and the next video I cover, which will be part 3, the remainder of it. All about the more details about him, his marriage, her, what's going on, and all that. And to no surprise, she's putting on the full court press to try to get him back. It's not working. So buckle up, you got a good story here for you tonight. But before I get into it, guys, again, come check me out for the men's community over on Patreon or Locals. If you can join as a member for free and see what it's all about, or become a paying supporter and get 2 to 3 exclusive videos a week, commercial free, and have the access to talk to all the other guys who have joined and signed up in a commercial-free environment and a censorship-free environment. And plus, you get all my stuff over there commercial-free from all 3 channels. Okay, sales pitch is done. So it starts off, or continues, he says here, so I've received nearly 1,000 requests for some type of update or information on what's been going on my pain and hate-filled life. Per my new therapist, he said, go ahead and do it, and I'll help me recenter and focus. Hey, if the therapist says go for it, go for it. And by the way, guys, this post he did here was 1 week later after his original post. And as you recall, this is 6 years old, but I never did this before, to my knowledge, so that's why I'm covering it. He says, to those that keep saying that's not how Snapchat works, yes, you are correct. She had that running in the background. It was WhatsApp. I don't really give a crap. I saw it. I again need to thank Dyson for their app and the kick-ass fan I got from my brother-in-law for Christmas. Well, here goes. I'm going to give a deep background on our situation to help with some perspective on why I feel the way I do. Dude, you don't need to explain yourself. She's been cheating on you for a year and a half. Doesn't make a difference. You're allowed to get rid of her. My original post was pretty much a stream of consciousness and felt as disjointed as I did them. I went to college in Vegas in the mid-90s, graduated in 99, and I had a blast there. I got around, as in I hooked up. It was during this formative time I decided to never marry. It was and is an outdated concept that eventually removes your agency, and I definitely did not want children. Well, given how this story, what we know, he should have stayed single. But a lot of guys eventually want a family. When I graduated with my degree in nursing, I quickly excelled in cardiovascular intensive care. I moved home to Texas in 2001 and pursued my master's degree to be an advanced practice RN, nurse practitioner, with a specialization in CV surgery. While I was achieving this, I decided to pursue medical school and shifted coursework to fill in what I needed to apply. It was then I met my now soon-to-be ex. She was a short, chubby, I believe the kids today would call him thick, red-headed firecracker. We met in a code. It was intense, both the attraction and the dating, where we were saying I love you within 3 months. She was a mother of 2, single mom. Remember, I wanted to be child-free, that had been divorced for about 2 years. She was getting out of an on-again, off-again relationship when we met. We dated for about 2 years, and she slowly introduced her daughters to me, who at the time were 11 and 6 years old. She sat me down one night and gave me a pretty heartfelt but pragmatic talk about us and where we were at the time and what she needed and expected from me or any other partner. So let me get this straight. The single mom is telling him what she expects. Hello? He's going to be the father, potentially a father candidate, provider and all that. And more like he should be telling what he expects if he's going to do this. But do you see what happens? Guys, you have all the power in relationships, except guys just don't realize that. And by the way, can you hear the thunder coming? You can see the dark clouds coming over there. Hopefully it doesn't start pouring because I want to do this whole video that interrupts you. But it's Florida. Gee whiz, in July we're going to have some effing rain. But fingers crossed I can get this done. Anyhow, she was telling me that this to give me a chance to think about us and what the future looked like. She had a pretty good point in that we were living together 8 months and even had each other's persons to notify in case of an emergency. She joked that all that was missing was having each other on our insurance. It was a good, honest conversation, and we agreed that we would continue for a bit more, but I would ultimately have to make the decision. Yeah, the decision that he wants. Guys just don't realize, again, the power you have in relationships. Most guys don't understand that. Well, 2 weeks later, I had an acceptance letter to a medical school about 2 hours away. I was ecstatic and crushed at the same time. I just had my 26th birthday and was about to accomplish a huge life goal. Then I realized I'd never see her or the girls. So what? Go to medical school, dude. Become a doctor. You can, believe me, there are replacements out there. My self-doubt got the better of me. Being a med student and then resident with a fellowship was going to be a roughly 7-year process. All the while, I could not make the money or support the lifestyle we had grown accustomed to. I thought about the prospect of at least 7 years of loans, debt, and work, and losing her. Smack! Had to give him that. Come on, man. You could have been a great doctor. I'm sure he was a fantastic nurse, don't get me wrong, but still. Guess what? Last time I checked, there's other women out there, and ones that don't have kids. So I declined and switched back to Masters in Nursing Administration. Smack! Never throw away your purpose for a woman. But I'm sure he's a great nurse practitioner or whatever. We got married in July 2003, and it was intimate and personal ceremony with just immediate family and friends. While my parents adore the girls, rightly so, they have always been standoffish with my soon-to-be ex. Gee, I guess they were sensing something about her. On Monday, when I told my parents what was happening, that there was a real possibility the girls could stop being as prevalent in their life as they've been, they told me that they felt that the soon-to-be ex was damaged goods, being married prior to, and forcing me to compromise. That really hit home, and to a certain extent, they were right. See, Mom and Dad sent something about her, and, well, look what happens all these years later. Well, after I graduated, I didn't want to be a manager or director. I'm a hands-on type of guy and likes taking care of patients. The hospital I was at offered a certification in ECMC and in a perfusionist credential. It was a highly competitive application, but I got in. For the last 11 years, I've been doing what the hell is that? It's dark. ECMO. And all things related. I've had a blast and it's been challenging as well as heartbreaking at times. My soon-to-be ex decided about 5 years ago that being an RN on the floor had run its course and she wanted a more 9-to-5 job that did not involve patients or drama. She got in through a friend at a multi-state legal consultancy that specializes in medical legal suites. She abstracts data from patients' charts and presents it in a manner requested. Did he just say she's an RN? Did I miss that some way, somehow, that he married a nurse? Gee, that adds a whole new level to a big freaking surprise in this story. So that was the setup. On Saturday morning, D-Day number 2, or D-Day plus 2, I only slept a few hours. I had dark, disturbing thoughts regarding my future and my life. I had, and still do, thoughts and scenes of death and violence upon them and myself. Dude, not worth ending it over some asshole. I was in the kitchen making breakfast, eggs and toast, when she walked in the kitchen, still bleary-eyed. She asked if I would make her some. After all that, you want me to make your breakfast? Get the fuck out of here. I threw it in the trash in front of her. I then proceeded to load up on my record player and play music from my youth at an uncomfortable volume to prevent her from trying to talk to me. Real mature, I know. Hey, whatever. I'd be blasting Metallica or something. I began pain shopping big time, reading the printout in the chronological order. I do and don't recommend it. By the afternoon, I was done with Black Flag and Danzig, and I was listening to Torch, breakup songs by Chris Isaak and Ray Lomigan. She approached again, and this time she was almost indignant, asking what purpose notifying the affair partner wife served. She's got no right to act that way. I stared at her for what I felt like an inappropriate amount of time, a bit dumbfounded. Yeah, he dumbfounded, like, are you kidding me, lady? I told her point blank that at least she, the affair partner's wife, would get the chance to make an informed decision about her future instead of compromising and sacrificing for someone that would betray them so selfishly. I guess my message to the affair partner's wife was received and things were not good for him. Well, good, because that's how it should be. Well, my wife sat down on the couch and began to tear up and sob, and I told her I was cried out, or more correctly, I was so numb that I will do that later. When I'm done doing what she needs to be done, she asked timidly, all indignation and bravado gone from her voice, what else had to do. I told her to ruin your life and you give the pain I have now. I told her that if she had any respect for me, love for me, that she would open her phone and show me everything. There is no way he's going to get everything from her. Not a snowball's chance in hell. She refused, shocker, and said that it didn't matter at all, and I would do is hold it against her. And I said there was a part of me, the completionist in me, that wanted to know. She refused and went to the guest bedroom. I found her HR new hire paperwork from her company, and they have a corporate compliance line, and I called and left a detailed message. Damn! Holy crap. Now, I disagree with doing that because you don't want to get her fired, and that would impact his alimony. I don't know if his lawyer would like that, but I still think it's funny. Some scorched earth, it just wasn't the smartest thing. They, the soon-to-be ex-wife and the affair partner, have discussed client information that also had protected health information with an unsecured, non-approved messaging system. Uh-oh, that's a problem. I also informed them that she was his acting supervisor on 2 projects over a certain time that corresponds with the S-word inappropriate messages. Lately, I said they both used their subsidized phones to transmit pornographic materials, pictures and videos, and that was a big no-no as well. Yeah, they're screwed, but this could impact the alimony payments, because regardless of who screwed this thing up, if he's in a no-fault state, you all know how this goes. My whole life, I viewed myself as a peaceful and rational man. This has broken that part of me. I don't know where all this anger has come from. I'm somewhat worried. Will it stop? I know in the long run, get over this, I will have to accept her apology and forgive her for her mistake. I just don't know if I'm capable, and it is worrying me. Dude, you're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be freaking really angry. And you don't have to forgive her. I would say you forgive her just so you don't fill your life with hate, but you don't have to do that. Well, that evening, I continued to notify family and friends in the situation. Good. Control the narrative. Good for him. Interactions. I called a physician friend and requested a favor for my checkup and an STD check. Again, smart. He had questions. I answered. My eyes got heavy around 8. On Sunday, D-Day +3, I decided to drive to see the girls. They are about 3 hours away. The youngest is still in college for another semester and maybe longer, thanks 2020. I have been having pretty extreme feelings about them since this all began. I have formed a respectful, friendly relationship with them, but not much of a fatherly one. The oldest especially, we are cordial, but there is always that "you're not my dad" thing and vibe between us. The youngest, not so much, but when they're together, it gets more prevalent. What I tell you guys about becoming a stepdad, marrying a single MOM, when the kids be like, "You're not my dad," even though that guy is paying for things and driving them around and supporting them right there. I left early Sunday around 5 o'clock in the morning, arrived at the condo, and their father pays for it, just at 8:45. I had good food and good coffee for them. They were immediately worried about their mom before I said anything. I told them point blank the situation and that their mom would probably be moving in the next 3 to 6 months. I can honestly say it was the best to do and say this in person. It's always best to do things in person. But, so, who do you think they're going to side with? At the end of the day, who are they really going to side with? Especially the one who, when she was younger, had the whole "you're not my dad" attitude. I told them everything. They were disappointed in her. I then told them that I wasn't there to get them to take a side, but they were adults in a special circumstance within our relationship. And if they decided they didn't want to interact or have a relationship with me, that I was okay. I'll be somewhat let down, but also relieved. I told them, however, that our relationship or lack thereof should not interfere with their grandparents, my parents. Well, they both agreed that they would like to definitely keep in touch with their grandparents. I left there around 11 and headed home. I stopped at my best friend's house and cried a bit. I had essentially helped raise them as best I could. Their father was an absentee most of their childhood and started another family 6 hours away. Shocker. My best friend decided that I had enough to drink in the past 72 hours and I needed to sleep. I crashed at his place at night, and I noticed my soon-to-be ex had been blowing up my phone after I left the girl's place. Oh well, I was too tired and too in the dark to care, or for a place to care. Of course she's blowing up his phone. You told my daughters! Bitch, you did all this. Well, on Monday, D-Day +4, I arrived home around 8 p.m. and noticed her Porsche was still there. Porsche? Who do you think paid for that? I thought for a moment that she Ubered and Waze to the airport. No, she had not. She was up and had breakfast made. She asked me to sit down and eat with her. I did, and she asked how it tasted. I told her like static. I told her I've had a hard time tasting and feeling anything other than bitterness and anger. And that was over the last 5 days. She had called in sick at work and did not leave for her quarterly meeting. Well, she's on panic mode now. She's got to fix things so she can maintain the lifestyle she's accustomed to. She tried to start talking about how worried she was for me and that she loved me so much. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, loves him so much she's been having an affair for a year and a half. 15,000 messages. Do I need to mention that part again? Yeah, I can feel the love tonight, honey. She got a call from her oldest yesterday around noon, and they were deeply disturbed by her behavior. I laughed, and as I did, I realized it was not a funny laugh. I had a manic kind of feel to it, and it took me back. I said, oh, you love me so much that you have a year and a half affair behind my back. You love me so that you F some other married man. You love me so much that you pissed away nearly half of my life because blah, blah, blah. She had never given me a reason as to why she did it. I told her that it made so much more sense. I went to the liquor service and pulled out the bottle. I like that he's not, I like he's giving it to her. Oh, you love me so much, this and that and all that. Well, this is certainly a moment that's warranted a good bottle of something that he likes, but don't go too crazy. The bottle was an 18-year-old Glenfiddich that my grandpa bought for us when we got married. It has been and was our tradition to have a small sip on our anniversary night. And remember, the things get better with time and patience. Yes, things do get better. And you will get through this, sir, even though this is 6 years ago. And I know he does get better. I chugged the remainder of it. It was about a third of the bottle that was left. And I said, sorry, I didn't offer her any. Obviously, he's kidding. Because she did not deserve any. I went to the bedroom and began pulling all the pictures off the wall that had us or her in them. I placed them in the kitchen table, and she had left. Well, my attorney, or rather her paralegal, called to notify me that the petition for divorce was ready, and I needed to sign off on it before it could be filed with the soon-to-be ex, and the soon-to-be ex would be served within 10 business days. I read it quickly, while very buzzed on premium scotch. I e-signed and pressed send. I also got a message from the affair partner's wife. She reluctantly thanked me for this horrible but good revelation. He and the affair partner's wife need to work together on this whole thing. They could be, they could help each other with information, but also, a friend in the same situation to get through this. And I don't know, if when they're split up, if he's remotely attractive, bang the chick. Why not? A little payback. But I'm a sadistic bastard. That's me. Anyhow, she declined to speak with me, but wanted to message me to tell me. Turns out she found texts and videos with other women beside my soon-to-be ex. Ha! And I bet you his wife thought she was the only one. She kicked him out and was going to get an attorney soon. They live in California, so he's fucked. Oh, he is fucked. I proceeded to listen to the music and have a few more drinks. I fell asleep around 4 in the afternoon. Fell asleep more like passed out, brother. I heard her come home around 10. She saw the pile of pictures and things that had one time meant something to us. She began sobbing and asking me to talk to her. Oh, here we go. Bring on the waterworks. Oh, I only asked one question. Why? Dude, don't waste your time asking that question. You're never going to get an honest answer or the full answer. She kept saying she didn't know. It's like a little kid. Why'd you do that? Oh, no. I called her vile things and said that she made so many decisions to get to just the first text. It was she that started it. It was pretty loose with my tongue. I was pretty loose with my tongue due to her being drunk. I laughed at her and started taking off my clothes and said, "You threw away this," pointing to my body. I'm going to get shit for this, but I'm 6'4", weigh around 200 pounds, and up until last week, I still jogged and lifted weights 4 times a week. For some pot-bellied needle dick guy, that wasn't going to do anything for her. Well, good for him. Own it. Like, hey, I'm in great shape for my freaking age. And you cheat on me and ruin everything for that twerp over there, Napoleon Dynamite skinny motherfucker? I went to my room and had a shower. When I got out, she was in the bed naked. Oh, this is pure desperation now. Trying the oldest trick in the book. She had lit some candles and begged me to nail her. I turned on my camera and told her to repeat what she said. I thank everyone who mentioned this, just in case. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. For whatever reason, my erection did not do a good job of convincing her that I didn't want to. So I did it, and I was not kind. I put her in an uncomfortable position and pounded her. Oh, this could backfire big time. If I'm not mistaken, lawyers usually advise don't get intimate with your wife during the divorce process. It can screw up the whole thing. I told her I wanted caboose action. I'm watching what I say here on YouTube, and I wanted to hear her beg for it. I recorded it all. I felt so many mixed emotions after. I loved her, and I am indifferent to her, and I hate her, and I think nothing of her. I want her and feel her, and I need her, but it still hurts me to think of us anymore. We fell asleep together. I woke up kind of hungover and had a hard time looking at myself in the mirror. Yeah, she had a hard time walking after all that. Tuesday, D-Day plus 5, therapy was a 2.5-hour session. That's a long session. Unbeknownst to me, she followed me there and wanted to know what I was doing. I told her I was getting some therapy for the emotional trauma I've been realizing that I had thrown away most of my life on someone who couldn't give me a reason as to why she would cheat on me at all. I was a little loud and teary-eyed. Never let him see you cry, but I understand he's all over the place. Well, my soon-to-be new therapist saw most of the exchange. I called her horrible names and told her I wished her dead. Needless to say, my session was intense. He prescribed some sedatives for me, and I had another shorter appointment scheduled for Thursday. We discussed my anger and betrayal, my emasculation, my fear of the future, and I explained I am terrified of the unknown. Well, last week I felt like a complete man. I had vision and goals. I also had a partner to deal with any issues and obstacles. Now I'm a ship without a rudder or mast. I feel no sense of direction or power or means to get away from this. Dude, you will get through this. But he's been with her for 17 years, and, I started explaining the why, what that I wanted to know. It isn't a single question. It is a series of questions that is pretty interesting. I suppose you can apply it to any behavior that you want to explain the motivation behind it. He said instead I should calmly ask my soon-to-be ex what within herself gave her permission to do this to me. She's not stupid. She's still going to see through that. There were several more follow-up, but this is what stuck the most. I told him about the SCX. He recommended that I lay out explicit ground rules regarding our physical relationship. Smack to the therapist. The only thing you should be recommending is they don't get intimate, because this guy wants to divorce her, and that could complicate things. Not to mention she's roping him back in. Notice she's willing to do anything, and I do mean anything, to get him to stay, even the backdoor caboose action. He ultimately recommended that I didn't do it anymore. Okay, good. I missed that part earlier. It would confuse and exasperate things tremendously unless reconciliation was my goal. Well, I cried, I raged, I left exhausted, and soon-to-be ex was still outside waiting for me. I would tell her to get the fuck out of there. I walked past her and didn't respond to her questions and pleading. I got a call from the physician's office to get tested and went to that appointment. I told him the short version. He recommended to stop drinking and take the sedatives cautiously. Okay, it's time to stop getting trashed and all that, and get ready for battle. And that battle's the divorce. I went home and proceeded to continue removing my things from the house and boxing them up. I decided that I would move out. I called work and requested a face-to-face meeting. The thought of working or concentrating on legitimate life and death issues is not possible in my current state of mind. Yeah, exactly. He needs time off. I drove to the administration building at the hospital, met with the team, and formally gave my 6 weeks resignation. I have such a niche, specializing job that 6 weeks is kind of a minimal courtesy. I put in the information that my soon-to-be actions has caused a stressful home life, and I'd be detriment to patients, the team, and myself if it continued to remain in this area. I decided to move away, far away. It's unfortunate. It should be her moving far away, as we all know, but if this is what the guy's got to do to move on, so be it. Because, even if he got the house, there's all those memories there, so he just wants to get the F out of Dodge. I got home after picking up groceries. It had been about a week since I had had more than a mouthful of food and have existed on liquor and not much else. I took both my therapist and physician's friend's advice and decided to make some food and stop drinking. She was home, of course, sitting in the darkened living room drinking wine. She had organized the pictures and was looking through them. She put on makeup and was wearing a date night dress. Okay, I guess it's round 2. What is he going to tell her to do now? She'd been crying a lot, big fucking surprise, and her makeup was in bad shape. She got up and tried to embrace me. I pushed her gently away and made a production of pulling out my phone and hitting record. Very smart. Yep. She started crying again. Oh, for goodness sake. And she told me the affair partner's wife had called her and told her that he had other women as well as her. She said that there was so much the fool and even that she was such a fool and made every derogatory name I had called her was right. She begged me to consider us. And I said, why bother? She didn't when she betrayed me. I told her I was sorry that her lies caught her out. But I felt that she was sorry she got caught, not remorseful for what she did to me. That's exactly it. She doesn't care. She doesn't like that her life's turning upside down. And oh yeah, P.S., he was banging other chicks, so she's not that special. I told her I felt like she was sorry that she was going to have to start over, and she was more upset about that than losing any quote-unquote love she had for me. I said that she abandoned her quote-unquote love for me, or us, 2 years ago when she decided to do this. I kept piling it on her. I informed her of my call to the corporate compliance line and the specific rules she broke. I didn't raise my voice or act angry. I was shaken a bit, but it was like everything was leaving me in a rush. I felt elated and so low at the same time. I felt empty when I was done. I put up a few groceries I had bought and made a small sandwich and then went to bed. Okay, well, there's progress. He's eating again. And he's not drinking tonight. While she was there again, I pulled up my phone and told her with the recorder going that my therapist had talked about regards to sex. Keep in mind, in 17 years, I cannot recall a time when I've refused or declined SCX from her. I asked her to leave and sleep in the guest bedroom. She refused, and I said, fine, I would then. And that, guys, I'm going to wrap up because it's getting pretty long here of the part 2, and I'll be doing part 3 later on. I'm going to attempt part 3 here, and hopefully don't get a massive thunderstorm, but I think we could be okay, and I could do both these all tonight. So whenever the video posts, whenever that may be, I will see you then.